All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. I'm the brother Lawyer, and I teach with the Great Millstone Asheville Camp. Coming back with a quick lesson. And this lesson will be entitled, You Ride the Carousel, and the Carousel will ride you very soon. All right. And as you know, Elder Malcolm, that's with the Great Millstone National Camp, he like to always go into this lesson or this topic because you have a lot of our women that like to ride the carousel. If you know what the carousel is, go from man to man. And so this is what this lesson is going to be about. And as you see, this is from the sister Dee. All right. I watched a handful of her videos, and she supports, Jake men, so-called black men, right? The southern kingdom men, all right? And so as you see, it says entitled woman goes viral for cheating with 12 men and she had a man. Now there's an account in the Bible where there's this Levite and a certain incident had happened to his woman because she played the harlot or whore, which we're going to get into. But first, I'm going to play a little bit of this video, and I'm just going to claim the Copyright Act. I believe it's Title 17, right? I'm just using this for educational purposes. So, nonetheless, let's play this video.
I want to hear what you have to say. So, here's the clip. Miami with it. Just for a good time, not a long time. Okay. Sexy as hell. Okay. What's going on, man? This is my girl now. She could probably get love for this shit. She here for a good time, not a long time. Okay. I'm from England. I'm at the prettiest golf in my hire. Beautiful. Best golf I've ever met.
See, and that's her dude, right?
All right. So, what do you guys think about what you saw? So, listen. I know a lot of young people are gonna feel like, and a lot of people in general are gonna feel like, when you're young, you should have your fun. You should do it up. That means ride all kind of cock carousels. That's what.
And so I'm going to stop it right there. So, and that's what they push here heavy in Babylon, right? Which is contrary to our laws. You so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans are the Hebrew Israelites and your descendants. All right, and we have a law to follow, and it's going to be a great punishment for when the society collapse. The Lord's going to give you over to your lust. It won't be no, oh God, help me in those days. All right, the God of Israel is going to only help his elect men and the women that follow suit and that gravitate to who they are, to this truth that call upon him. All right, so let's go into it. So of course, we might have heard the word carousel, but some people don't know what that word is. So I typed in what is carousel. As you see, it's a merry-go-round, right? And it's different horses, right? So in a sense, these different men that these women like to hop on, are like these horses. You can jump from one horse to another horse. You go round and round. You can ride. So, as you know, it's known as the cock carousel. All right. So anyway, let's go into Deuteronomy 22. Deuteronomy 22, because the law is about, I don't want to say the R word. They might strike the video. But there's laws dealing with when a woman is taken for a better sense, There's laws for marriage, which we're going to go into. So this is Deuteronomy 22, and I started 13. Says, if any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, so you know what that means. He go in unto her, right? We not in elementary school. We grown ups, right? So you know what this means. And give occasions of speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her, right? So basically, he's saying that either this woman wasn't a virgin, she's a harlot, a whore, right? Prostitute, so on and so forth, and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid, not a virgin, right? Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity. So, what happens when you meet a virgin? You lay with her, right? Of course, you break the hymen, and what happens? Blood comes out. So, blood will get on the sheets, right? So, on your bed, you have white sheets, and as you marrying her, going into her, that's what really marriage is sex. She will bleed. So that'll be the tokens of her virginity. All right. And bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife. You didn't see nothing about no ring, no ceremony, right? Which you did have different marriage ceremonies, right? But this is just plain, and to the point, right? I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he had given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city, right? And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver and give them unto the father of the damsel. So you paid, you paid for that wrong that was doing. You got chastised and you had to pay the father some money. And it's going to state the reason why. Because he had brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel, right? So, hey, that's plain and simple, you know. And she shall be his wife, right? She shall be his wife. He can't put her away. He may not put her away he may not put her away all his days. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, right? Like say he go into her, and it's not a breaking of the hymens, no blood, right? She's known that she's done had a man go up in her. She was a harlot, right? Then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the man of her city shall stone her with stones that she die. So technically, many of our women, hey, they supposed to be, I ain't gonna say it, but y'all get it. But of course, we're in a society where that can't happen. We're in a society where we can't keep these certain laws, right? But in the kingdom, it will be so. You know, it says, I start here because she had wrought folly in Israel, and to play the whore in her father's house. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, right? Then it goes into you know, dealing with a woman that's married, or if somebody go in unto her. So I'm not gonna read that. So you get it. So that's one law we can't keep in the society. And then on top of that, they run the so-called Negro man, the Southern Kingdom man, out the household. All right. Let's go into. I think this is the same chapter. No, it's Deuteronomy 23. This is Deuteronomy 23 and 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. And that's, you see that running rampant here, in the good old USA and good old Babylon, right? There shall be no whore of the daughters of Zion. So you so-called black, Latinos, Hispanics, Native American women, There ain't supposed to be no thoughts. You know, there's gonna be a price to pay for that. We about to read about that price. It says, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. You know what that is? It's a mo. All right. Now, of course, I'm gonna read Judges, but first let me go to Sirach 28, 25, Salaki 26, Sirach 26, and this goes in you having a good wife. All right, which many you Israelite women are not good wives. All right, only a few. Let me get the main point. Goes into an evil wife. Now, this is Sirach 26 to 9. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. Now, when you go right back to this video, you seen that. Let me see if I can take away the volume. Shoot, Salakia. See if I can take away the volume and let this video play. Damn. Salakia, I don't know if I can. But shoot. Let me see if I can go back. You can see her face. Shoot, I mean, look. Come on, man. I mean, it ain't as clear, but you can see her face, man. Brighten this thing up. I mean, look at it, man. Anyway, let's continue. It says, verse 10, if thy daughter be shameless, which she's shameless, many of our women are shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. And this, many of our women, they abuse themselves, going from man to man. That's how a lot of them end up being X'd off. They meeting people on these apps, going out of state, and they ain't coming back home. You know, either they getting sold on the the sex market, slave market, stuff like that happens. They don't report it on TV. It says, watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against thee. So hey, marvel not if your woman trespass against you. She's cursed. We're under the curses. The Hebrew Israelites are under the curses. So marvel not. It says she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he have found a fountain and drank of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. Think about that. That carousel, a quiver and an arrow. What that quiver is what holds the arrow. You put the arrow inside. Come on, you know what that is. And there's much more I can read. Verse 22 says, and harlot, a thought, shall be counted as spittle, as nothing, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. It says, a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feared the Lord. So, hey, you women out there that believe in this gospel, that call upon Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, y'all are going to be put with a godly man, a elect man in these last days. And if you don't have one, just wait. Stay in this truth. Wait, have patience. Now let's get the account of what's going to happen to you women very soon. They like to ride the carousel, and when the society collapsing and these men are running rampant, going crazy, and the police, the 911 won't help you. This is a good account. It says Judges 19. It says, and it came to pass in those days when there was no king in Israel that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim. Right, Ephraim is known as the Puerto Ricans today, who took to him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah. And his concubine played the whore against him and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months. And her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her and to bring her again. having his servant with him and a couple of asses, right? And she brought him into her father's house. And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him, right? Because he was looking at like, oh, okay, this is gonna be your husband, or this is your husband. And his father-in-law, the damsel's father, retained him, and he abode with him 3 days. So they did eat and drink and lodged there. And it came to pass on the fourth day, when they arose early in the morning, that he rose up to depart. And the damsel's father said unto his son-in-law, Comfort thy heart with a morsel of bread, and afterward go your way. And they sat down and did eat and drink, both of them together. For the damsel's father had said unto the man, Be content, I pray thee, and tarry all night, and let thy heart be merry. Be happy. Let your mind be merry. Your heart means mind, all right? And when the woman arose, Slakia. And when the and when the man rose up to depart, his father-in-law urged him. Therefore he lodged there again. And he arose early in the morning on the fifth day to depart. And the damsel's father said, Comfort thy heart, I pray thee. And they tarried until afternoon, and they did eat both of them. And when the man arose up to depart, he and his concubine and his servant, his father-in-law, the damsel's father, said unto him, Behold, now the day draweth toward evening. I pray you tarry all night. Behold, the day groweth to an end. Lodge here, that thy heart may be merry, and tomorrow get you early on your way, that thou mayest go home. But the man would not tarry that night, but he rose up and departed, and came over against Jebus, which is Jerusalem, and there were with him 2 asses saddled. His concubine also was with him. All right. And when they were by Jebus, the day was far spent, and the servant said unto his father, Come, I pray thee, and let us turn into this city of the Jebusites and lodge in it. And his master said unto him, We will not turn aside hither into the city of a stranger that is not of the children of Israel. We will pass over to Gibeah. And he said unto his servant, Come, let us draw near to one of these places to lodge all night in Gibeah or in Ramah. And they passed on and went their way, and the sun went down upon them when they were by Gibeah, which belonged to Benjamin. Today, Benjamin are the so-called Jamaicans. The Levite is known as Haitians today, which is what I am, lawyer, all right? Judah are the so-called American Negroes. Ephraim are the Puerto Ricans today. And they turned aside thither to go in and to lodge in Gibeah. And when he went in, he sat down in a street of the city, for there was no man that took them into his house to lodge in. And behold, there came an old man from his work out of the field at even, which was also of Mount Ephraim. And he sojourned in Gibeah, but the men of this place were Benjaminites. At this time, Benjaminites were moles. If you know what a mole is, all right? You know what a mole is. Don't make me break it down. All right. And when he had lifted up his eyes, he saw a wayfaring man in the street of the city. And the old man said, Whither goest thou? Like, where you going? And where you come from? And whence comest thou? And he said unto him, We are passing from Bethlehem, Judah, toward the side of Mount Ephraim. From thence am I. And I went to Bethlehem, Judah, but I am now going to the house of the Lord, and there is no man that receiveth me to his house. Yet there is both straw and provender for our asses, and there is bread and wine also for me, and for thy handmaid, and for the young man which is with thy servants. There is no want of anything. So he's like, look, we got everything we need, but we just need a place to lay our head. And the old man said, Peace be with thee. Howsoever, let all thy wants lie upon me. Only lodge not in the street. So he brought him into his house and gave provender unto the asses, and they washed their feet and did eat and drink. Now, as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him. So, in these terms, when they said that we may know him, they wanted to, the R word him. Remember, at this time, there were moles. If you don't know what I mean by mo, think about Sodom and Gomorrah. They were moles, okay? And this is the same thing that they said to the angels, dealing with uh, a Lot, right? When the two angels were with Lot and they were beating on the door, saying that they wanted to know them, all right? Verse 23, and the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, No, or nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is coming to my house. Do not this folly, because back then, when somebody were to come in your household, you protected them. They was under your watch. Slakia. All right, Salaki. It says, Behold, there is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them will I bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so a vile thing. But the man would not hearken to him. So the man took his concubine, right, and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her and abused her all the night until the morning. So yeah, they all word her, all night. They said they knew her. Remember, they said the same thing about him, that we may know him. They knew her. They did it all night. She was F to death. All right. And when the day began to spring, they let her go. Then came the woman in the dawning of the day, and fell down at the door of the man's house where her Lord was, till it was light. And her Lord rose up in the morning, and opened the doors of the house, and went out to go his way. And behold, the woman, his concubine, was fallen down at the door of the house, and her hands were upon the threshold. So you have to visualize this story. Imagine some steps going up to the house, two steps at the top, then there's the door. She was right there, stretched out on the steps, and her hand, you know, uh, uh, right before the door. You open it, walk out. She's right there laying. All right. Verse 28, and he said unto her, Up, and let us be going. But none answered. She died right there. Then the man took her upon an ass, and the man rose up and got him unto his place, right? And hey, I can keep reading, Actually, yeah, I keep reading. Verse 29, and when he was come into his house, he took a knife and laid hold on his concubine and divided her. He cut her up together with her bones into 12 pieces, and sent her into all the coast of Israel. And it was so that all that saw it said there was no such deed done nor seen from the day that the children of Israel came up out the land of Egypt unto this day. Consider of it, take advice, and speak your mind. So they end up going to war with the children of Benjamin for the evil that they done. And they were moles, you know. So hey, it's just it's a quick warning. The Lord's gonna give you over and into the hands, of people, men. I'm speaking about you women. You're gonna be given over to your lust in a whole different form and fashion in these times to come. When society collapse and you get your doors kicked in by, whether it's 12 dudes, 20 dudes, you know. And so, hey, get yourself right. Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.